Yesterday, as you know, I attended the first prison to pipeline program graduation in the history of America, maybe the world. I'm unsure. I'm going to have Wayne research to find out if there is a prison to law school pipeline that exists somewhere else in the world, but I know it doesn't exist in America. And so for those of you guys who are state commits, Paul Snell is the commissioner of corrections for the state of Minnesota. I asked Paul if he was going to stay on beyond Governor Walz, who's stepping down. He said no. He said he was leaving. So there's going to be a new commissioner, Amy Klobuchar, who I hope will become the governor. Will get to pick her selection in that position. But Snell, this to me is the biggest feather in his cap as a corrections commissioner. He sat down with some community organizations who wanted to create this prison to law pipeline program with ex-offenders. And Paul sat down and decided it was worthwhile to do it. They connected with William Mitchell Law School over in St. Paul, a reputable law school around the country. And they decided to sample whether or not anybody was eligible from prison to go to law school. You gotta hear me today. 2 people qualified, and they qualified by taking a test, the same test that college students would take to see if they're accepted into law school. They offered this test, and they offered it to about 50 people, but only 2 people really excelled, and they really excelled. Good morning, sir. They really excelled in the test. They were one of my students, Jeffrey Young, and a sister, Maureen on Yellowby, a Nigerian who I met yesterday. Somebody in here was with Jeffrey in Rush City, is that right? Dorian. So they accepted these 2 into law school. They put them through all the rigors. Now that, this online thing, Zoom, all that has become sophisticated enough to be able to sit down in class and participate. And some of the students, actual students from the community, aren't present either. They're Zooming, and it's all going on. There's Zoom students, and there's in-person students, and the whole thing is happening. These guys spent 4 years going through law school. Both of them graduated law school. They both are convicted of first-degree homicide. Both of them have served already 22 and 27 years respectively. And they both graduated law school with honors. And these are them. I'm gonna pass it around so you can see the picture. Just take a look. Move it quick. Just take a look and pass it down. These 2 graduated law school with honors. And so yesterday at Shakopee, I hadn't been to Shakopee for a while. I used to go up there periodically some years back. Shakopee was like, you could walk away from there. You could just walk out the front door, keep going. When I was there, but it's not like that anymore. Shakopee has upgraded their security, and it ain't nothing nice. But they had a very nice reception room where they received us. So the professors from Hamlin were there. Some of the graduates, family members was there, and representatives. And the ceremony was so beautiful, man. So beautiful. It was just touching to me. Jeffrey is the guy who I told you was already a college graduate when he got his murder beat. But because he was so smart, he thought his life was over, logically, it made sense to think these two things don't work together and I'm cooked. It took him 3 years to get out of the cell and start moving around. Where he started moving around at was in pop class. And pop class opened him up to the teacher that he already was. He was already a trained teacher. He graduated my class and did a great job. I put him in the second part of pop, which is called Silent Cry. Silent Cry is more college orientated. It's the next step from the purple book that you have. But in the Silent Cry, it's probing and questioning. It's very inquisitive and asks you to figure out things for your own, on your own terms. It's really an intellectual manual. And so the Silent Cry is the second. And then the third class is called Change Your Life in 30 Days. My wife has written all those books, but Change Your Life in 30 Days is how you replace one habit with another. And it takes 30 days in her hypothesis to break a habit, but you have to replace the habit with something different. That applies to what you were saying about aggression and behavior. If one of them has become a habit, then you have to figure out how to replace the habit, the behavior habit, with something else, some cognitive thinking that puts you in another place, puts you in a better place. Thank you. I want to read this to you. Jeffrey Young, a Boston native of Cape Verdean heritage, is part of a close-knit family of 4 younger siblings and a host of cousins, aunties, uncles, nieces, nephews who are artists, teachers, businessmen, community organizers, military members, lawyers, and more. Jeffrey's mother fostered him in the value of objectivity, fairness, and empathy. His appreciation for organization, clarity of action, and consistency is influenced by his dad. I don't know his dad. I never met him. Jeff's grandmom, Donna, nurtured his family-rooted sense of purpose. Throughout his life, Jeff's curiosity and reverence for his culture, history, and reinforced by his aunt Cynthia and cultivated in his teenage years while participating in the Minneapolis Fairview Park's Youth Line program. Jeff's aunt Nicole encouraged his value for foresight and planning. And his grit and fearlessness were influenced by his stepfather, Phil Demery. In addition to his family, Jeff's sense of duty to community derives from his childhood participation in the Boy Scouts of America. Jeff received his Bachelor of Science degree from Grambling State University, a historical African-American university where he played football and served as vice president of the Iota Tau chapter of Kappa Delta Phi International Honor Society. Despite his nearly 25 years in prison, Jeff, motivated by the Power People Leadership Institute and his elder cousin Maurice, you know Maurice Fresh, they call him, maintained his commitment to community and purposeful life. While incarcerated, Jeff served as a representative elected by his incarcerated peers, restorative justice council member, opinion columnist for the Minnesota Spokesman Recorder. He was writing for the paper out here, received national recognition for his writing while a student in Minnesota prison writing workshop. Through the organization, We Are All Criminals, Jeff's art was featured in the Minnesota Science Museum and the University of Minnesota Weizmann Art Museum, in addition to being one of the first 2 incarcerated people in the country. I'm gonna say that again. Hey, Chris, what's going on? In addition, Stan, what's up? In addition to being one of the first 2 incarcerated people in the country to earn a law degree, Jeff is also one of the first incarcerated people to complete a social justice clinical pastoral education program through Alina Healthcare CPE Center. I didn't even know that, but it was amazing to me to sit in prison and witness a formal graduation, and both of them graduated with high honors, and they were dressed in their robes and regalia, and they were being honored. Oh my goodness. The college had to decide presidentially and on down that they were willing to give inmate a chance to go to law school. They had to decide that at a high level, you can't just start that up overnight. You got to go through all kinds of processes. I'm sure there's some legal ramifications. They had to clear it through their own law department. But both of them decided corrections had to go through its rigmarole and pass it through or whatever. But it happened, man. It happened. 2 people on yesterday. I was just glad to be one in the room when it happened, just to fly on the wall when 2 inmates graduated from law school while in prison. What that does, listen to this, is set the road and the pathway for 2 more to come next time from prison. Two more are going to be selected because of how well these 2 have done. They have proved to these institutions, they have proved to these historical colleges, a 100-year-old university, they've proven that inmates are smart. We are smart people. We're valuable. We're lovable. We're powerful. And we're important, even though we are incarcerated. I'll wait for all the amens in the church to die down. And these 2 shine bright like a diamond. Ooh, I was glad to be just a fly on the wall. I thought about y'all too, because I know my wife was over here dropping it, jumping on you. She don't play no games. I was laughing to myself a little bit because I know you wasn't gonna be ready for, But what we're trying to do here is help you see yourself differently. If you see yourself the same way you saw yourself before you got your case, it's probably likely that sight will inform your thinking, and your thinking will convince you to go back to yesterday, to go back to say it louder, to go back to the past, and not just the past, but the past. Right. And forgetting the past. Wow. I'm going to say 2 more things about the graduation, and I'll let it go. We thought Jeff had been up to the Board of Pardons a couple times, and it was brutal. They shot him down, and shot him down hard. And his mom, who's just been sticking with him, his mom and his mom's sister are, both their sons are rap partners, Jeffrey and Linnell. And so they always support each other. And I've seen his mom broke down and crying. I remember one time Jeffrey was heard at the Board of Pardons, this is about 2 years back, and they talked about him so bad. And the victim's family was there, and it just gets messy. Humanity can be very messy and convoluted. And to witness the mom having gone through, I've been messing with the mom for as long as I've been messing with her son, to witness her go through all these iterations of trying to see her boy free, to sit there, she was right in front of me right here, Stan, where here I'm sitting, and then she's right here, and her son is standing there, regal, all laid out, and here's the president of the Hamlin University Law School, here's the president shaking her son's hand and handing him a law degree, and she is weeping for the correct reasons. Now, I just saw that all transformed, and it was amazing to me to witness it. Oh God, what it says to me, what it says to me is, don't overrule your possibility. You might not go to law school, or you may not go to college, but you can have a better life. And it's about what you choose to do with your, say it louder than that. Yes, how much time do we have in a day? 24 hours. How many seconds does that equal? 8,400.
600.
8,600. The reason why we bring that up to you is because we want you to focus on who the responsible caretaker is of your time. You are the responsible caretaker of your time. To get to the penitentiary, you had to work on that. To get to prison takes work. And it also takes, to stay out of prison takes an equal amount of work and an equal amount of, you have to be able to see yourself differently. I was thinking about Christopher here. And Chris, tell me, would you tell me you're 40? 49. 49 is young. But let me tell you what I'm thinking about with you. Is to never have worked a job. It makes it seem unattainable because you've never done it. But because you've never done it, you have to see yourself differently so that it can be obtainable. But we want to roll with you, man, until you get your first opportunity. Have you been filling out applications?
Oh, I ain't got no ID yet.
Oh, that's right. Right, that's right, that's right. Man, try to stay with us, man, because I'd love to see someone who never even had a taste of a ham sandwich or job, finally get through that and figure out a way to make it through life without becoming a casualty or making somebody else a victim. So this is why we train the way we do. We're really training you to think about yourself differently. We're training you to be aware of 4 kinds of people who can change your life. They are
Adders, subtractors, dividers, and multipliers.
And what's important about that is that you will always know who they are by what they say out of their. The 8 steps to the good life start with the
Word.
And word takes you to. And destiny is so powerful that not only does it affect you, it affects the future, the unborn. You can't understand it when you're preoccupied with yourself, that everything you do is ultimately going to add to your destiny and to the future of your children. What we talk about in here is here's why. Why do you think I brought you the analysis of and Stanley brought it up yesterday. My wife asked you about it, and this is what she said. This is what you could remember. There was pain and suffering. What's the difference between the two? If pain is inevitable. Pain is inevitable. All of us are going to experience it. We just talked about it this morning. All of us are going to have some degree of pain. Suffering, however, say suffering.
Suffering.
Suffering is you choosing to allow the pain to go on and on and on and on. And then we put chemicals on top of the suffering. Speaking of chemicals, let me tell you the 2 ways that pop guys, these are guys that I've worked with over my 22 years in this work. The 2 ways pop guys find their way back to jail or prison is a failed traffic stop and a failed domestic relationship. Let me explain the failed domestic relationship. I have found folks know how to hold on to their business well until they get into a romantic relationship. When we get into these romantic relationships, fellas, we start telling the person too much, too soon. I'll wait for all the amens to die down right there. Everybody is not born to hold on to all your secrets. And Sheila, say Sheila. Sheila, who is been through her own mess before you came. And she's developed some tendencies, some idiosyncrasies, some habits, say number 6. She's developed some number sixes that you don't understand. Now y'all are having sex, y'all are in intercourse, y'all are in relationship, y'all done crossed over, and you believe, because you've been gone so long, that I found that thing I was looking for. And God bless you if you do. But be careful, say be careful. Be mindful, say be mindful. Yeah, hold on to all your business in your mouth. You can have a relationship, you can have a conversation, you can even be intimate without divulging all your information. Some of my sons who are SOs, they have to divulge that they're in an intimate relationship. That part is okay, but all your PO's name, how to contact them, how bad you hate your PO, terrible information to give to Sheila. Because now Sheila's angry, she's drunk, and you over there, you spend too much time away. Whatchamajigger, she done called the PO who you told her the PO's name. You gave him, she know the number, it's right there in your phone. She took it, and then she looks at Stanley, you know, you want to know what Stanley is? Stanley said he hated you for, you know, what you, I mean, just repeating all this and then also sugarcoating it to make it worse than what it even was. Turn your allies into enemies and cause you to have to fight harder to keep your freedom. These are the two things. Now, a failed traffic stop is simple. You don't have your license. You trying to drive, you know, you like we used to do, driving with no license. Raise your hand if that applies to anybody in this house. Yes, sir. Driving with no license. We think I can drive. It's my right. No, it's a privilege. And the reason why they take the license is because of some of the stunts we was pulling before we lost them. I'm reviewing with you right now. I'm just trying to go over some of the things that are so important to you. How to present yourself. This practice on job seeking skills and mock interviews. Asking the question about you. We're gonna do some more of it today. Asking questions about your past, how you explain it, how you talk about it, how you share it. You know, you say, you know what, I'm not perfect. I want to be the first one to tell you I'm not perfect. I made a couple mistakes, and one of them was this, and the other one was that. But that was a long time ago. I've taken classes. I've trained myself. I've graduated from programs. Son, please stop making all that noise over there. I've done this, I've done that. I've moved on with my life, and I hope that you can see that and that you would be willing to give me an opportunity. If you give me one chance, I'll show you what I can do. I mean, I want you to be fluent, not be afraid, not be intimidated by those questions, and not letting your past shoot you again. It already done shot you. Now we're recovered from the wound. Don't shoot yourself with it. You know, I'm not asking you to brag about it, but I'm asking you to just be comfortable with it. Everybody got a past. The person who's interviewing you is somebody too, and they're not perfect either. I heard through the grapevine, this is one of them little Tweety Bird things. I heard through the grapevine yesterday at the prison that Hamlin was so interested in Jeffrey that they're thinking about bringing him in to the law school itself. This is just a rumor. Knowing he committed a homicide. This is the law school taking a murderer into their faculty. I just want you to hear it. I just want you to hear what's really possible. I just want you to hear it. What's happening outside? If he can do it, so can we. We're not asking everybody to go to law school, but I'm asking you to just get a job and try to make it like that. Does that make any sense? This is why we train the way we do. We focus more on you becoming a better version of yourself. That's the key, really. How do I become a better version of myself? You do that through changing the words that you let come out of your mouth, even when you're lazy. Even when your mouth and your mind get lazy, and you start talking like you were talking yesterday in the past. I'm from the bricks. I was calling people B and F and MF and what it was just natural. I thought. No, it was unnatural. I learned to train my mouth not to speak death over my life or the lives of other people. I'm going to say it again to you. I learned to train my mouth not to speak death over my own self, not realizing my words have power. Yeah. Right. When you begin to realize the power of your word, you really begin to realize it, you'll start orchestrating a better version of yourself by changing the language you use to describe yourself, by changing the language you use to describe the things you like, the things you don't like. Change your language. What we're victimized by, the language that we picked up in home and family. This is upside down, I'm just using it. Home and family, before we got to school or right there at school, the trauma came early for us. Many of us street guys, we were already hitting licks in the teenage years. We were already on our way to streets and court in our teenage years, thinking it was slick and it was foolish. We were talking about a guy that he's a little older than I am, but he was a big street guy, Ralph Pluky Duke. Anybody ever heard of him?
Locked up there.
Actually, he was a nice guy. But he had this rep, was real big, and he was that guy with dope. He had that rep. I never bought any dope from him. I never seen him conduct any kind of a dope transaction, but he was always gleaming. I saw the shine he had on him. He was always gleaming. And his reputation got so big that the federal attorney from the state of Minnesota, this is the first time I ever seen this malicious distribution of the law happen in Minnesota. And they raided all his properties. He had several properties here and in California. They found nothing. Say nothing.
Nothing.
They found no dope. Say no dope.
No dope.
They found no money. Say no money.
No money.
They still charged him with conspiracy to sell narcotics. They paid some informant to make a statement. They stroked that. I think they stroked him with 25 years or 20 in federal institutions, and they moved him on the train. So he was around somewhere everywhere. He came back after doing maybe a 20-cent piece, maybe more. He came back, and it was at VOA over there on Lake Street. Raise your hand if you're in VOA on Lake Street. He came back right there where you at right now. He was right there. You know, he's older. He had a few health issues, but he was home and he was still moving around. And this whole notion was he needed to find a job like what we need to do. Find a job is what your agent knows how to say. Your agent doesn't know how to deal with the part of you that's never had a job or is uncomfortable in a job. They don't know how to deal with that. They're just telling you what you got to do. And it's a threat, really. It can be spoken to you nicely, but it's a threat. The threat is if you don't find a job, then I'm gonna, come on, this is the veiled threat, you know, and this is why it's so important for you to try to develop your relationship. But let me stay with Ralph for a minute. Ralph got out. The prosecutor I'm telling you about had retired. He seen Ralph standing on Lake Street waiting for the bus, trying to get away from the halfway house. He seen him. Stopped and rolled his window down. This is the story I'm told. And looked at him in his face and thought, how could he be out of the penitentiary? Went back to the current federal prosecutor. They dug back in his file and found a gun case that had been dismissed. They re-presented the gun case, retried him on the gun case, and sent him back to the federal penitentiary after about 4 or 5 months out after that bit. And they had never caught him ever with any dope, with a gun, with any money. I'm bringing this up to you to say it's easy for the system to send you back. It's harder for you not to send yourself back. But to not send yourself back, you have to make some changes, Van. You have to make some clear and direct changes to your thinking. Say, my thinking. Say, I'm valuable. I'm lovable. I'm powerful. And I'm important. Now, when you don't treat me like that, I got to move around from you. Now, does that mean that you're arrogant or disrespectful to people from your past? And I run into people from my past all the time. And I've been legal like this a long time. And I got my shine back from wherever I left it at. I don't treat people disrespectfully, and I actually value those relationships from back in the day. But I don't let them pull on my string with that funky mouth or that old school stuff. I don't let them do that. I move around. I say, hello, hey, man. Hey, how you doing? Right? And he was like, hey, man, can you give me a 20? Can I hold? Can you break me off?
Look out for it.
Can you look out for it, brother? Sometimes I can. And I do. I know I've been blessed. I remember where I was. Say where I was. I remember where I came from. Say where I came from. But I'm not going back there. I'm valuable. I'm lovable. I'm powerful. And I'm important. You got to buy into that 100%. You got to buy into that. Some of my sons, I'm telling you, it took me, one of my sons, it took me 18 months after he was released after 38 straight years. It took me 18 months to find him one job. Say one.
One.
That boy worked that job so hard, he got the keys to the dope. I mean, you gotta, if you have any atomic dog in you, if you get that one, then latch on to that one and play it to the bus. Always on time or ahead of time. Always being able to take correction. Say correction.
Correction.
Yeah. One of the things that street folks have a problem with is direct confrontation, where we are used to being defensive and aggressive. And that's what it calls for in certain situations. Now, when you're in another situation, it doesn't call for that. And you can't push the button prematurely. I'm teaching good right now. You can't push the button prematurely and call up some response from yesterday that's going to take you back to where you came from. This first job you're going to get, play that one to the bus. It's the second job. That's when you get to the place where you're ready to receive your second job. In that place, you can be more choicey about your salary, more choicey about your hours, more choicey about what you want to do or not do. But that first job is what we all got to have to break into this new system. Say the new system. The new system of getting up and going to work every day. Making it happen. Staying out the people's way. And if you stay out the people's way long enough, the fools who coming out behind us take up all the space. You feel me? Is that making any sense to you? It just is what it is. You just got to see that for what it really is. I'm gonna say one more thing to you, and then I'm gonna let you break. The reason why I presented pain and suffering Pain it'll come to you. Michael Jackson's pain of his family. It's painful, but suffering is your choice. If you choose to suffer, suffering will smother you out. Suffering is a choice. Pain is inevitable. Pain is inevitable. Say pain is inevitable.
Pain is inevitable.
Suffering is a choice. Say suffering is a choice.
Suffering is a choice.
Yeah, look, if you have a little girlfriend, she leave you. Some of y'all, maybe one or two people in here had a woman before you left and she's still around now. Raise your hand if I'm talking to you. That's 1, 2, 3. I'm gonna tell you one thing about that. Let me just explain one thing about that. Your woman got used to you, Michael Jackson, calling home every day. I'll say 2, 3 times a week. She always know what time you go to bed. She always know what time you get up. She know everything about your prison operation. So she has got a number 6. What's a number 6? Her habit is created around your schedule in prison. Let me make this plain to you. So when you come out here and you don't come home on time, what bell does that ring? Her habit ring. And say, wait a minute, Michael, where are you at? And you're nowhere. You might have you saw you stopped off. You're laughing because you know it's true. You stopped off and just had a conversation with somebody. It wasn't nothing, and you didn't get back quick enough. You have to teach her how to love you as the new man, not addressing you as the habit she formed around who you were yesterday. Say yesterday. Yesterday. I'm trying to make it clear to you here and plain to you. I don't want you to be fooled by some of these things that have come up over the many years I've been doing this. That's one of the ways you find yourself in the jail or prison, because Sheila mad at you. You done went out and stayed back, and then wait a minute, you done came home and had a little drinky drink. She smelled it on you, and wait a minute, she went through your phone and found out you had Wanda Nunn's name. You know Wanda. You know Wanda. She gives it to everybody. Oh wait a minute, you know Wanda. and Sheila heard about her, and then Sheila went on your phone and found Wanda's name. And don't text Wanda asking for what you want to ask for. Do you understand what I'm saying? These are small things, but these just send a big guy back to the penitentiary with the quickness. Am I making myself clear?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Yeah. I realize I get some of my human value, some of my value as a human, I get from y'all succeeding in this new life. Vang, I got a son, an Asian boy, Mung. His name is Zheng. Handsome boy, smart boy, just had come home from Furbo. He did a 2nd degree bit. Came home and got married to his girl, but didn't have his papers together. ICE swooped him up, sent him to Vietnam. He knows nothing about Vietnam. He know everything about St. Paul. He don't know nothing about Vietnam. And man, it was so dirty. And I was so proud of that boy because he made so much progress. He became the new person, like I'm telling you. In spite of that, he had one thing open. He didn't complete his papers. His mom and them were, his grandmother and them was grandfathered in. The mom and them got their papers. He got in the street too quick to get legal on his own. I sent him $500 just to say, boy, I love you. $500 in Vietnam money is 14,000. Man, that boy, he texted me, said, Pop, thank you. What I want him to do is do whatever he need to do. Trump ain't gonna be the president forever. Work on your return plan. His wife, knowing he did nothing to deserve it, she got her passport and went on over there to Vietnam to be with her husband. She could only stay for so much time before she had to come back. But I'm just saying, don't think that you're the only one. Don't think that you're the only one. Because I done had them before you, and they working too though, and they living a good life too though. They staying on the Tuesday night group. That's tonight. Once you graduate on Friday, you're eligible. It's an option. We meet every Tuesday night. We chop it up. Sometimes we get deeper than this because we've been with each other for many, many years. Y'all will be eligible. And sometimes jobs come in the door. People come in and say, hey, they're hiring. This is who you call. Tell them I said it. A lot of guys that got hired that way, right? We chop it up, eat a little chicken. Speaking of which, on this Friday coming will be your graduation from the REAP class. A couple of you just because you don't have, Chris, your stuff, still apply. Just make the time and just have to work. You can't wait on one thing without working on the other thing. I appreciate everybody here. I value. We could make a mistake and still come back and get it straight. Don't see your experience as failure. We just had a fork in the road, but the road is still there. I've been doing it long enough to prove it. I got murderers who are supervisors at their job. Don't tell me what you can't do. I'm the wrong guy. I appreciate y'all. I missed you yesterday. I'm gonna be gone again tomorrow. I have a lifer son who's going in front of the commutation board, the governor, Keith Ellison, and the Supreme Court Chief Judge Adrian Riley is his name. Oh, I didn't see it. Triple homicide. Down in southern Minnesota. They had it on the news.
Yeah, it was on the news last night.
What channel?
Channel 5.
Look it up and see. I want to see it. I wanted him not. He's going to see the parole board in about 12 months, the regular parole board. I think it's better strategic move for him to see the regular parole board, not the commutation board, because of what you just led with. What you just said, Howard, is I saw it on the news, a triple homicide.
That's all I can see. He had his victims' families and stuff.
Exactly. And so it makes it almost impossible for the commutation board to commute you. But listen to this. Adrian have never pleaded guilty. He took it to a trial, he lost. And I'm gonna tell you something, man. I've been doing this for a little bit. If a man takes it to trial, say trial. Right. You know they offered him some plea. He didn't take it. He took it to a trial and lost. And he never admitted guilt. He always said, I'm the one who set it up, but I didn't do the murder. And I was gang affiliated, and I know what they do if somebody snitched. So he was willing not to tell on who really did it. This is according to his story. When I met him in 2008, the homicides have already happened. All the guys that I met that I'm talking to you about, I met them after the crime have already happened. My goal is to try to take you from where you are to get you to the next level, right? So I wasn't there. You understand? And nobody was there. But I respect a man who says I'm not guilty and never changes it over 33 years. He been locked up 33 years and never completed, never swore he was guilty. The first commutation committee voted to consolidate his sentences from 3. Yes, he's consolidated right now, which is why on his next parole hearing, he's eligible. I would like his chances better going through regular parole because you have an option. If you go through regular parole and they parole you, bam. If you go through regular parole and they deny you, then go to the commutation board, then you got another play. You feel me? But the strategy in this lawyer, she's great, but new. She didn't see it like this. They're trying to get Walls and the Supreme Court justice because they easing out. But that presentation you telling me about right now, Howard, is going to mandate they don't. Yes. Still, I'm going to be there because I've been with the boy since '08, and he's made a believer out of me. Huh? I went to the board? Yeah. The board. No, I'm not with the board. I'm presenting on his behalf. So I'll be seated right with Riley on his behalf about who he is now. I can't say who he was before, but who he is right now after '08. And by the way, he came to me illiterate. He couldn't even read. I made him take my class 3 times and go and join GD before he finally could pass my class and do the homework. Each class was 12 weeks in them days. So it was about a year and a half, almost 2 years before he ever even graduated from the purple book that y'all got. But once it opened up his vessel, then he started coming on strong. He started coming on powerful. Now he got his associate's degree and he's a barber. Barbers making good money in this world.
Yeah, they talked about how he's doing good now and how he's become more mature and all that stuff too, or whatever.
They did say it?
Yeah.
Oh, man, Wayne, you got to find it so I can see it because I'm walking right into it tomorrow. But what I'm saying to you is, if I get with you, I'm going to stick with you. I've been doing it a long time. I ain't scared. I ain't running. I believe ex-offenders are just humans who made them, who took a wrong turn, but we getting back on the good foot, right? I've been going on a long time. I'm gonna give you a 15-minute break, so come back at 11:15. Thank you.